Thank you. I'm really good.
Oh, that's brilliant. You managed to look great even in the middle of a lockdown. I don't know how you can do that.
Well,
Um,
I even put perfume on.
it's like, it's like I want to be human. So we're going to talk in particular about a couple of things in this live case studies interview. One is how did you grow your coaching and HR business? What made it launch? And also a particular strategy that we worked together on to launch one of your products and one of your services. And in particular, what made that particular strategy work. So everyone can listen to this, can dissect and understand what are the elements to make this particular strategy work.
Mhm.
But before we go into that, if you can give a bit more information about the work that you do and who you are, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm a HR consultant and a visibility coach. My business is called The People's Partner, and it's split into two aspects. So we have one half that deals with organizations that have employees. So as you can imagine, we're quite busy at the moment.
Yeah.
With all what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's best friend, all of us. Yes, so we're busy at the moment just dealing with a lot of policies and just the way that organisations are behaving and dealing with their staff, managing their staff at the moment. And then the other side is the bit that I actually thrive more at, I would say, is the helping entrepreneurs become more visible so that they can get seen and heard. And that's coming from a place of knowing that there's lots of entrepreneurs out there that have great talent, great expertise, but there is a disconnect with them actually showing up in the world. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to utilize their skills in a more profound way so that they can be found, not just them actively seeking to be positioned in events and publications, but they raise their profile so that the work comes to them.
Absolutely. And in fact, just to give everyone a bit of a background here, Michelle is so great at visibility and building profile that last year I approached Michelle and say, hey, got this idea, want to launch a program called the Profile Builder. I want to do this together because like there are very few people that has as much media and speaking exposure as you are doing and as you're having. And you built your businesses based on that those profile, or raising your profile, and you build incredible connections because of that. And that's how incredible Michelle is. Like, say, no, we got to do something together. So and if you guys want to know more about the profile builder, now you can work with myself and Michelle in making sure that you get more out there, that you get more opportunities, better clients. You're already at the foundation of your business, but now it's time to ramp it up.
Yeah.
That's the work that we are doing together. But we're not here to talk about that. Michelle, you joined GTeX. So when was that? When did you start?
I think it's about 2 years now. It's about 2 years ago. I went to. So you see, the thing is, I heard about GTeX years ago, and everybody has lots to say. So you pick and choose what you listen to. So yeah, I heard lots about GTeX, and
good things.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. I never asked you this question. So
but the thing is, I remember hearing a lot about GTeX, and I know that at one point there was lots of people it was really buzzing about GTeX, and I'm one of those people. If people are going to something and they're really pulled in by something, I don't want to be a part of it. I want to do something different. So I just thought, and someone said to me, are you part of GTeX? And at the time, GTeX used to have like really great discounts with certain hotels. So that's why I remember it. And I said, no, I'm just going to do my own thing. But then I can't remember, somebody introduced me to one of the events that he had. So I thought, okay, let me just go along and see. And I was hell-bent that I'm not buying a thing. I'm not joining the membership. I'm all good, all by myself. And I was very staunch in my belief. But, after that 3-day, that was it. I was taken, and yeah, I'm not easily sold to be fair, but yeah, I was sold.
And then I remember that. I remember when we had the conversation. We're like, nope, no, I'm not part of the member. No, no, no. And I'm happy that we managed.
I'm here now.
We're here now. That was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was a good decision, I guess.
Yeah, it was. It was a brilliant. It was a great decision. Yeah, I always say to myself, why did I leave it so long? But then at the same time, everything happens at the right time, and I think that was the right time for me to be part of a bigger membership and to get that external support, to have a safe place to brainstorm ideas, judgment free. So it's all worked really well.
All right, awesome. So I know that that's what actually we are talking about today in terms of a case study. During that 3-day event, the work that we do is to refine your business strategy, create an offer, and launch an offer in 3 days. Yeah. And we are having incredible results with this 3 days training. Now, there are some people that, of course, the strategy works better for them. Others people that they might not get as much traction if they've not been in business for that long, but I get the foundation in that case. So for you, actually worked pretty well. I mean, I think it was that like 6.5K in about 30 days.
Yeah. So I remember when we were in the room, and I think I won a number of competitions in the room, if I do remember right.
You did. You won actually 1 or 2 competitions while you were there.
I'm secretly competitive, you know.
Secretly. Are you sure? Is that it?
I remember being in the room and we had to come up with our messaging and put something together. So I think I won that, and there was something else and I won as well. And I had to talk about this business model that we created over the 3 days, and I won that as well. And I think the good thing about it, you have part of your product where we have to go out and tell people about what we're doing and get people to sample it. And I thought that was an ingenious idea, because from that I got people that actually bought the course. And at the time I was redefining, I've got a business product called Test Drive Your Business Idea. And it was in person, but I wanted to refine it a bit more. And yeah, it worked out really well for me. And that led to, and I thought, if this model works really well, and specifically, do you know what I think worked is where we had to break down what's the features and what's the benefits and the value add. So you had the core offering, and then you got us to think about what is the value add. So your core offering should be able to work by itself. And then the value add is going to be so specific and make such a, the person who's buying it is going to be like, oh my God, and I get this as well. So that for me was a light bulb moment. And I was able to replicate that same system with my HR products and offer, how can I give this like core templates around HR and employment law, and what will be the value add that's going to be the icing on the cake. And yeah, and I was able to sell a few of those and with the HR within 30 days.
Wow. So, I mean, the question now is, how was the difference? So what was the difference that you had from how you were selling your product and services before? And you already mentioned one on the value add.
Yes.
But what was that difference after when you started selling your product after you attended the 3 days to compare to what you were doing before attending the 3 days?
I think one of the other biggest differences for me was really understanding my product. And you had to have a level of certainty. So the fact that we could practice in the room, and I don't know, I'm sure you know by now that I like immediate action. So
yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I'm not. If I overthink it, I won't do it. But I wanted to do it straight away. So then I went in the foyer and I practiced the talk some more. And then I went out and I went straight onto Facebook and I just said, guys, listen, I'm here. I'm at GTeX and I've just launched something and I need people who want to test run this with me. And I had learnt the script that I did in the room. So I was certain, because people build trust through certainty. So if I was iffing and ahhing about my product and iffing and ahhing about my price and not too sure what the benefits are, I wasn't really relating to their current pain points as well as whatever future problems they might have if they don't buy my solution.
Yeah,
you lose that trust and you lose that rapport. So I memorized it and I just went out, and that's how I was able to sell it straight away. And the thing with me, I sell something without actually fully creating it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, the work is late.
I got to deliver the bloody thing.
And I'm like trying to create this really quickly because I can sell it before I even make it.
That's brilliant. In fact, like I have another question for you in terms of because of that process. What do you think that you had that made this strategy work so well for you? And so, and this is in the light of if someone needs to follow that particular strategy or wants to work in that particular strategy, what are some of the things that you did to make it work? So you mentioned adding value, you mentioned having certainty in the process. Is there anything else?
I would say something else, and I think it was derived by being at the training, at the GTeX training, it was to listen. We tried to listen to give a response, but I wanted to listen to really understand.
Mhm.
And I do this and I carry this out even through with the profile builders, where I just want to sit and soak up. So when I was getting the feedback from people, I was listening to what they were saying. I was picking up on what they weren't saying,
Mm.
and I really wanted to put myself in their shoes. So if I had to replicate you, what problems am I dealing with, which I'm just mentioning to you, but what is really going on underneath? How is it affecting everything else in my life? And that's what I wanted to listen to, and that was really derived from the GTeX when I had the feedback. It's listening to the feedback, and not the feedback as a way of criticism, but if I get as much feedback, even if it's negative, and I turn that on its head, I'm going to win. So that's how I've done like all my coaching sessions from then on, is sitting down, and if it's half an hour where you just talking, and I'm just listening and soaking it up, then I know exactly, even if I have a current product that is not fit for purpose, I know what to say to adapt it to make it fit for you. So we all have one product, and one product cannot solve everybody's problems. It's
True.
impossible. But once you listen to them and you pick up what people say, you know what, let me say more of this and less of that, which is already part of the product, part of the solution, but you know what to say, what's going to meet their needs today, not tomorrow or next week. So
Thank
that's
you.
really good.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really fascinating how when we are launching, how in particular doing the quick launch formula, which is this particular process, then it is about listening. It is about really understanding before you go mainstream with a product or you start even creating it. It is really about understanding what people want, what makes them say, yes, this is for me. And there are a lot of people that do the opposite, where they spend months creating an offer,
Mm,
creating their things, and then just to realize that, oh, damn it, that doesn't work. Or maybe it's the right product, but it's not communicated with the right words.
yeah,
And that's the power of listening to your ideal clients, because they are
yeah,
going to tell you exactly what you should write in your copy, what you
right.
should write in your post. They give you all the content that you need. Like people say, I don't know how to create content. I'm like, listen to people. They're giving you all you need, and I guess that a lot of people overcomplicate this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
entire process. Why do you think people do that, though? Why do you think people like?
Because people are trying to make sure that their solution is valuable. So the more complex it sounds to resolve, the more money you feel that you should charge. But
Yeah.
I think sometimes people want to buy simplicity. People don't want
Mm.
something complex. They've already got a complex situation, and then you're giving them a complex solution because you want to make
Yeah.
it sound more valuable than it really is. When some people just want to buy simplicity, and they'll probably pay more because you've simplified their already complex problem, and you're giving them a simple solution in a time frame.
Yeah, absolutely, and I want also to say a hi to Mariangela, which is here. She says thank you. That's really valuable. And actually, Mariangela is going to attend the 3 days that you moved online this very weekend, so she's in for a treat. And then we have Steve Obridge. Do you know Steve? I think you do.
I don't know, Steve.
You know Steve? Yeah, he says hi.
Hi, Steve.
And so what you mentioned, Michelle, is the fact that a lot of people want to overgive, and they want to create something which is they overthink too much to overgive.
Yeah.
And also there is this, I think sometimes can be fear of having conversations. I think
Yeah.
fear of rejection can, from what I've seen, can come into a big,
Yeah.
because it's like it's
Definitely.
easy to hide behind a keyboard. But when you have actually conversations with people, then that's actually where the real magic happens. Like if anyone is struggling in business, the first thing I'm looking at is how many conversations did you have this week?
Hmm. Hmm.
I created 5 blog posts. How many conversations did you have this week? I did 5 Facebook posts. How many conversations?
It's
You can
so
even.
true. It's so true. And do you know what? I've been like that as well. And what I learned even more recently, I need to detach my emotions from the sale.
Yeah.
So I am selling you a solution that I know that works. And whether you buy it or not, my life will still be here. And once you have that, because I was doing some research, especially for women, for any of the ladies watching, we find it more difficult to sell than men because we become so emotionally attached to the product or the service
Sure.
or the solution that we're selling. So we take it very personally when someone doesn't buy. But
Sure.
and when I was doing some research on this, and the research shows that if women are selling, women or men at this case, are selling for someone else on behalf, they sell much better because it's not their product. They're not emotionally invested. So what I'm trying to do now is detach myself from the solution and know that this is the solution that will help you. And then I will be able to sell it better because I feel like it's not my product. Then I can sell it and sell it better than if I am
Ah,
totally
so
invested.
it's almost like you're thinking that this product is something different,
Yeah,
and then so then you don't associate it's like your own personal services to
yeah.
what.
And this is the same when people say they can't sell themselves because you feel icky about selling yourself, and if people don't buy into you, you then feel rejected, and then the whole idea of having to sell again, it just freaks you out because of the rejection. What may people think? Do I sound like I'm greedy? I'm asking for too much money because we're so emotionally invested in the solution. But if you detach your emotions from it, it helps you to be a better a more effective salesperson.
Totally, totally. And it is an exercise. It is an exercise in consistently reminding yourself, I'm not the product. I'm
Yeah,
offering a solution. If they're
yeah.
saying no, they're not saying no to me. And I remember I used to be. I mean, sometimes people don't see this side of me, but I'm a very sensitive soul, and
Yeah.
I am. That's true, and no, it's true. Like I'm an emotional wreck, and if someone like if I had really like to learn how to deal with rejection, because I have a tendency naturally to please everyone and to want everyone to be happy. Right now, know what we're talking about, and I really had to work really hard because eh, I felt, sometimes I would have a phone call or a sales conversation and they would say no, and I would be off for the rest of the day. Like
Yeah.
my mind would not be able to think. I would feel like pain in my heart. It was that bad.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it was literally like a lot of internal growth to go to the point where I'm like, you know what? If you say no to this, you're the one missing out. That's I think it's been like a 5-year process to really get to the point where now I just don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I would still give a damn like if I have a difficult conversations with people. Um, I need to take a day off after that. Like if I have, I remember once I fired a client that we had a really strong relationship with together, but we couldn't work together anymore. There were a lot of other things but because of the personal relationship, I wasn't able to face some of the things that were not good
mhm.
in that situation. I almost like it took me a week to recover from that conversation, and I'm saying this to make everyone understand that when you're in business, it's an emotional game as well.
Yeah,
But
it
if
is.
you're not in control of your emotions, then and your emotions are in control of everything. So, is there anything in particular that you do to ground yourself and like not be an emotional wreck all the time. It's like,
I have to do some NLP techniques before I get on any sales call, because like you, I can get emotionally invested and I do take it personally. So I have to do like detachment techniques through NLP. And I've got like some calls even for Friday, and even the anticipation that I have to have these calls scare me. But I'm just like, Michelle, you can do this, you can do this. And I have this thing where I just close my eyes and I see that that's the solution, whether they take it or not, they lose, life still goes on. And I have to just do like all these affirmations. So I never put sales calls back to back because I need to prep like a good 15-20 minutes before each sales call. I'm not the greatest salesperson. And to be fair, I try to put myself out there so much that work comes to me and I have to be the likes of the sales.
yeah.
I have to sell.
They're just people what they told to you and they say, "Hi, Michelle, can I buy this?"
Yeah.
That's the power of building your profile. That's the power of building your profile. So, Michelle, thank you very much for this in-depth analysis of this. Is there, before we move on and wrap up, is there anything that we haven't said that would be important to say regarding making like a quick launch strategy work on doing a product launch from your experience, either the personal experience or things that you've learned from us at GTeX?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to reiterate what I said earlier, is about really listening to what people want and what people need, and to do that, to sell your product before you even create it. And when I mean sell it, is actually start talking about it, start seeding it, get people really interested, engaged and excited, and they'll inform what needs to go in your program. And I've done this twice now, and I've even got a program. I haven't finished it. I've got 15 people who bought it, because I know people get excited and they will do module 1, module 2, and it takes them long to get to module 5, which is good because I haven't even created it yet. But I'm being informed to shape module 5, because I've asked them, what are you stuck on? What issues? And they're telling me. And so now that's going to be the content for module 5. So by the time they get there, it would have been done. So you have to be strategic and wise in the way, and use your time wisely, really.
Yeah, and focus on what matters the most, which is actually getting the bloody thing in front of people.
Right.
When we are talking about sell it first and create it later, we are not talking about creating shit. We are talking about create something really good quality, but then that is what people want.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, because some people think, oh, is this a strategy I should use at the beginning? It's like, no, use that every single time. I mean, there was a guy which is really famous in the feng shui world, which is called Joey Yap, and I was following some of the stuff that he was doing, and he launched a program. Like he says, it's gonna be fully launched in 4 months, but you can buy it now. And he had like 20,000 people on that live stream, so he has millions of followers. Same strategy. Get people to buy and get them to tell you what they want, so then you can add that material.
Most definitely.
I launched a program in January called the Influencer Program. We started this week, sold it in January. So there is a lot. This strategy really works. So Michelle, is there anything that you're up to at the moment that you want everyone who's watching or listening to know about, things that you're working on?
What am I working on at the moment? So with what's going on, and I wanted to bring not lightheartedness, but to give people a purpose to still get out of bed and to do something wonderful while all of this is happening. And so I've just launched a new brand called the Green Room Discussions. And if you know about performers, they always have like a green room where they discuss, and they're very open, they're very frank, they talk about things that probably other people shouldn't hear. And so I wanted to replicate that, but in the Ellen in America, but in her style.
That's so cool.
Very comfortable and just interview. So I've lined up some really great interviewees. They're from all over the world. I've got 2 people already. from the US. I've got someone from Dubai, somebody who he's the brand consultant for Bugatti, I can't even pronounce it.
Okay, yeah.
Luxury car, and Maserati. And so he's from Dubai. He's going to come on, and we're going to have like some behind the scenes conversations of, you know, how he builds these massive brands, these global brands, and just to give people something to think about than what's going on, and just even to give them hope, and they can connect with these people. They can build their own relationships with these people as well. So I'm excited for that, and just continuing to serve the greater community in what I'm doing.
That's awesome. Is there any link that is ready for that, or shall we?
Not yet. It's not yet as well. I'm going to be streaming. It's going to be live streamed, and then I'll be live streaming it on YouTube as well. So
I guess the best way is to connect with you on like Facebook or different or LinkedIn social media profile, and then people can find about that.
Yeah, under Michelle Raymond or the People's Partner, you can find me, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes.
All right, awesome. Now, last question before we wrap up on this interview. I had this idea which I found, actually totally gotten from Mary Forleo, which is brilliant. And I'm going to ask you to complete a sentence, which the sentence starts with "because of GTeX," and then you can complete that sentence. So, over to you.
Oh Lord, let me think. Okay, there's lots I can say. I'm trying to be clever, but I might just keep it very authentic.
Just keep it like this.
Yeah, let's keep it real. So, because of GTeX, I have new friends. Oh, that sounds a bit crap, isn't it?
Don't overthink it. I was
moaning. I should have thought about this first. I haven't had time to think about it. What has other people said?
No, what you said, because what did you get because of GTeX?
Okay. No, to be fair, okay, because of GTeX, my business has exploded, and I have a great network of friends.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Michelle. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being on this call. Everyone, make sure you connect with Michelle Raymond, and thank you for spending the afternoon with us. I'll see you next time. Ciao.